across the valley tonight, and it sounded just like the day you left. The storm inside me tried to settle down, but your memory kept stealing every breath. I stood by the window watching the sky break open, electric flashes lighting all the pieces of my heart. Every crack of lightning wrote your name again, reminding me how we fell apart. You always loved the sound of rain. You said it made the world feel clean, but now the rain feels like 1,000 echoes of the love we lost, of the places we've been. I walked outside just to feel alive, letting the storm wash the silence away. The wind pushed hard against my chest, like it knew the words I needed to say. I still love you in ways I can't describe, like thunder hiding behind the calm. Your voice is the echo I still chase, your heart the storm I carry in my palm. And when the lightning fades into the night, I still see your outline in the clouds. The storm reminds me of all we were, of every promise said too loud. But even storms eventually break and clear, and maybe love does too somehow. Still, whenever thunder shakes the sky, it brings me back to you now. It brings me back to you now. I held your memory close tonight, like a whisper running through the dark. I felt the echo of your name, filling every corner of my heart. I keep remembering the way you touched my hand so carefully, and how your voice would calm the storm. Every time you leaned on me, if love can find a way back home, then I will follow every sign. If hope can light a quiet road, then I will walk it one more time. 'Cause when I try to leave the past behind, but every shadow turns to you. The more I run, the more I find I'm lost in everything we knew. And though the nights grow colder now, your warmth still lingers in my soul. I trace the outlines of our dreams and pray they somehow make me whole. If love can find a way back home, then I will follow every sign. If hope can light a quiet road, then I will walk it one more time. Every night I walk the same empty road, the one where we used to laugh under broken streetlights. Your voice still echoes in the soft hum of the wind, like a quiet reminder of our forgotten nights. I keep telling myself that life moves forward, that the heart learns to let go when it has no choice. But even after all this time, even after all this distance, I still hear you calling in the tremble of my own voice. We were young when love found us trembling, two souls building a home out of fragile dreams. You said forever like it was something you could hold, but forever slips faster than it seems. Sometimes I wonder if you search for me too, in the faces of strangers, in the echoes of old songs. If your heart aches soft and quiet when the world grows still, if you feel it beating for a place where it belongs. I've learned to breathe without your touch, to walk through days you no longer share. But healing doesn't mean forgetting, and love doesn't vanish just because it's not there. If one day your steps lead you back to the edge of my world, I'll be there waiting the way the sunrise waits for dawn. I won't ask for reasons, I won't question the distance. I'll just open my arms and let you come home. Because some loves aren't meant to fade, some bonds are stronger than time can't sever. And deep inside me is a faith I can't explain, a quiet hope whispering you're not gone forever. So I live my days with that gentle promise, loving the memory of you. I'll keep loving the memory of you. We stood beneath the broken street lamps, too afraid to say what we already knew. Your eyes were shaking like troubled oceans, and my heart was screaming, begging you. I tried to hold the moment together, but time slipped through my fingers like sand. You whispered something I couldn't accept, and suddenly goodbye was all we had planned. I walked away before you saw my tears, before the night revealed the truth inside. But every step felt like a fatal wound, every breath like a piece of me died. Shouting your name, it echoed across the empty city. A love too wild for me to tame. I took the long road home alone, feeling everything you tried not to feel. And somewhere between sorrow and the dark, I realize some wounds never heal. Still I carry that night like a burning flame, a memory carved into my chest, a love that screamed into the night, refusing to ever rest. And maybe someday you'll hear the echo in the wind, in a song, in the quiet air. A reminder that love doesn't fade by choice. It stays alive because it was real, because it was rare. So if the night ever feels too loud, just remember the voice you left behind. It's still calling you through the shadows with a love again find. A love that's screaming still remember the quiet sound of your footsteps in the hallway, the way your shadow danced on the walls when the moonlight touched your face. I still feel your heartbeat echoing in the spaces you left behind. A whisper in the dark that refuses to fade, no matter how many nights I spend alone. I walk through all the memories like the pages of a book we never finished, each line written with the softness of your hands and the tremble of our dreams. I tell myself I'm stronger now, that time can heal what love once broke. But every time the wind calls your name, I fall right back into yesterday. If love is made of moments, I'm holding every one of ours. The laughter in the rain, the promises at dawn, the tears we tried to hide. And if love is made of silence, then I've been singing without a voice, trying to reach you where my hands can't go, where my heart still tries to stay. I close my eyes and I see you turning toward me, your hair glowing under golden light, the smile that kept me breathing. I try to pretend I've let you go, but you linger in every heartbeat, like the echo of a song I can't forget, even when the night grows cold. Maybe someday we'll meet again on a quiet street at sunset, and you'll look at me with those eyes that knew all my secrets. Maybe we'll remember who we were before the distance grew, and the world will soften long enough for us to find our way back. But if that day never comes, I'll still carry you gently in every dream that wakes me, in every whisper of the rain. Because loving you taught me how light survives the darkness, and how a heart can keep beating even after it breaks. So tonight I breathe your name into the stars, hoping somehow the universe delivers it back to you. And if you ever feel a warmth you can't explain, just know it's me, still loving you in the shadows, still holding the pieces of a love that remains, still believing we made something out of nothing, something too beautiful to ever truly end. I never knew silence could sound like a memory, but every quiet hour carries the echo of you. Your voice still lingers in the corners of my thoughts, like the last note of a song I can't stop listening to. I still find pieces of you in the smallest things, a melody in the supermarket aisle, a shadow crossing the street at dusk, a scent in the air that feels like your smile. It's strange how the heart keeps reaching out, even when it knows there's nothing left to hold. I tell myself I've let you go, but letting go is harder than stories ever told. We said goodbye with trembling hands, both pretending we were stronger than we felt. You walked away before the tears could fall, and I stood there drowning in the words we never dealt. I've replayed that moment 1,000 times, hoping a different ending might somehow appear. But fate doesn't rewrite memories, and the truth is you're no longer here. Still I see your shadow in every goodbye, every parting, every quiet part of me, as if the world keeps reminding my heart of the place where you used to be. I wonder if you feel it too sometimes, if your heart stumbles at the mention of my name, if somewhere deep inside you still wonder why we let our forever slip into flame. But love doesn't disappear just because we parted. It stays hidden in the folds of time. And even though you're gone, the echo of you still plays like a gentle, unfinished rhyme. So I'll hold on to the pieces I can keep, not as wounds, but as proof of what we were. Because every goodbye carries your echo, and every echo reminds me of her, and every echo reminds me of you. I've walked through the memories we left behind, touching every moment like a fragile photograph. Some are warm, some sting like cold rain, but all of them still carry your laugh. I try to build a future without your reflection, try to breathe without the rhythm you once gave. But every time I think I've moved on, your name rises from a place I can't say. I still remember the night you said you were leaving, your voice trembling like a candle in the wind. You said you needed space to find yourself, but I knew it was a chapter closing where we'd once began. carrying all the miles you've traveled alone. You look at me like you used to look at sunrise, as if my heart were the place you'd always known. If that day ever comes, I won't ask questions, I won't revisit the wounds we made. I'll simply open my arms and let the light in again, letting forgiveness replace the mistakes we made. But until then, I'll keep the memories safe in the room where old dreams still stay strong. Because love doesn't die just because it's shattered. It waits quietly where the broken pieces still belong. I drove through the night with your name in my mind, the tires humming the truth I never said. The road stretched out like a wounded memory, pulling me back to everywhere we bled. The radio played our favorite old song, the one you said felt like falling in love. And suddenly the world felt familiar again, like the sky was bringing you from above. I tried to pretend I left you behind, but the wind kept calling your voice to me. Every mile felt like a heartbeat closer, every turn whispered what we used to be. Maybe we were made of fire and storms, too bright to fade, too strong to break. Maybe our love was always a wild road, a journey our hearts were forced to take. Your shadow danced in the street lights ahead, and I pressed the gas like chasing a dream. But dreams move faster than broken hearts, and nothing is ever the way it seems. Still I keep driving through the memories, hoping the road leads back to your door. Because even after everything we lost, my heart still burns like before. And if someday the world brings you I still wait for the sound of your footsteps on the porch. Even though I know the world carried you somewhere far away. Sometimes I sit by the window just to watch the night fall, pretending the stars might guide you home someday. I read at the old letters you never meant for me to keep, the ones written in moments when your heart was louder than fear. You said love scared you because it felt too real, and maybe that's why you chose to disappear. Oh, I won't lie, there were nights I broke quietly, folding myself into the shadows just to feel less pain. Every room felt colder without your presence, and every sunrise felt like starting over again. But love has a way of softening the sharpest memories, turning the hurt into something I can finally hold. And now when I think of you, it doesn't shatter me. It warms the parts of my heart that once felt cold. Sometimes I imagine you standing at my door again, tired from running, ready to fall into my arms. I tell you that forgiveness grows where love once lived, and that some hearts are meant to return no matter the storms. If you ever find your way back to me, I'll leave the light on in the window like I used to do. I won't ask why you left or what took you so long. I'll just hold you close and let the night fall around us too. But if the world keeps you too far from my reach, just know your name still lives softly inside my chest. Every road you take carries a part of me with you. Every dream I chase whispers the hope that you're blessed. Maybe love isn't always about holding on tightly. Maybe sometimes it's letting the other fly free. But still, in the quiet of the deepest night, I hope you find your way back to me. I hope you find your way back to me. Every morning I wake up on your side of the bed first, just to prove to myself that you're really not there. The sunlight falls on your empty pillow like a quiet confession, reminding me of all the little things I still wish we could share. Your coffee cup still waits in the corner of the shelf, a silent witness to the stories we no longer tell. I walk through these rooms like I'm walking through a dream, touching every memory that refuses to say farewell. I thought loving you would be enough to stop the world from turning, that if I gave you all I had, you never need to go. But hearts are complicated, they wonder where they're called, and sometimes the ones we hold the closest are the first to let us go. I replay the night you left in slow motion in my mind, the way your eyes shone with tears you tried to hide. You said you needed something more than what we had become, and I stood there quietly breaking as you stepped out into the night. Now I'm learning how to live without your shadow, how to walk these streets without reaching for your hand. I'm teaching my heart to beat without your rhythm, trying to understand a song I never planned. But even in the silence, you're everywhere I turn, in the rain on the window, in the echo of a song. Every stranger's face becomes a possibility for a moment, and I lose myself wondering where we first went wrong. Some nights I imagine you standing at my doorway again, tired from the world but ready to come home. You'd say you finally realize that even the nights are better when we face them together instead of alone. Maybe it's foolish, maybe it's how I survive, to keep a light on for a love that walked away. Because part of me believes that broken things can mend, and that some goodbyes are only pauses on the way. Until that day, if it ever comes at all, I will hold your memory gently, not as a wound but as a part. You were the chapter that taught me how deep love can go, and how to find myself again inside a shattered heart. So I'll breathe in the future one small moment at a time, let new colors paint the sky above my head. I'll never forget the way it felt to be lost in your arms, but I learned to live without your shadow beside my bed. I'll learn to live without your shadow beside my bed. The night was quiet enough to hear my own mistakes echoing, a gentle reminder of everything I should have said before you walked away. I sat by the window, watching the rain fall in slow motion, each drop carrying a memory of us I couldn't keep at bay. I tried to convince myself I had moved on, that time could erase what the heart refused to forget. But there in the silence where the world held its breath, I felt every part of me reaching for you yet. I remembered how your laugh could break open the morning, how your touch could soften even my darkest fears. I remember the way you whispered promises into my hands, as if the future could be shaped by the trace of your tears. We were fragile, two dreamers trying to hold the same sky, never noticing the cracks beneath our feet. And still every moment with you felt like destiny, like a song too beautiful to ever repeat. Oh, then I kept asking questions I wasn't ready to answer, questions about why I let you slip beyond my reach. And in every bit of quiet, in every breath I took, I realized the truth was always within me to teach. I never stopped loving you, not for a heartbeat, not for a second in the hours that turned into years. Even when goodbye became the only word we had left, even when silence replaced laughter and tears. If fate ever brings you back into my orbit, I won't hesitate the way I did long ago. I'll hold your face gently like something sacred, and tell you what I should have let you know. That love doesn't stop just because life gets heavy, that hearts remember what hands can't hold. And some nights when the rain falls softly, I still love you more than I ever told. The night I realized I still loved you was the night I finally understood the truth, that love isn't something you leave behind, it's something that always finds its way back to you.
Some nights I wake up reaching for you, as if my hands still remember the shape of your touch. The moon paints shadows across the room, and for a moment I can almost feel you there, breathing softly, loving me in ways words never said enough. I still walk the path where we used to dream, where your laughter fell like sparks into the air. Every corner holds a piece of you, every silence knows your name, and I carry them like fragile treasures everywhere. I've tried to forget you the way the world forgets sunsets, slowly, gently, with the promise of tomorrow. But the truth is you live in me like a quiet fire, a warm light I turn to whenever I stumble into sorrow.
You were my shelter when the rain hit too hard, my calm in the storms I never learned to face. You taught me that love isn't measured by time, but by the moments that stay, the ones refused to be replaced.
And even though we couldn't stay together, your memory still lights my darkest nights, shining through the cracks where fear once grew, turning my heart toward gentler sides. I wonder if you ever sit alone at dusk, thinking of all we could have been, if your heart still pauses at the thought of my name, if somewhere inside you the story begins again.
Maybe life put us apart for reasons we can't understand. Maybe love had to break just to teach us how to heal.
But even in all the lessons, all the quiet and the longing, you remain the one thing that still feels real. So I'll hold on to your memory, not as a wound, but as the light that showed me who I could be. Because love doesn't fade just because it ends, it lives on in the hearts it set free. And though the night is long and full of shadows, I walk through it with something bright. The way your memory still holds my hand, the way your love still lights my darkest nights. Some nights I wake up reaching for you, as if my hands still remember the shape of your touch. The moon paints shadows across the room, and for a moment I can almost feel you there, breathing softly, loving ways words never said enough. I still walk the path where we used to dream, where your laughter fell like sparks into the air. Every corner holds a piece of you, every silence knows your name, and I carry them like fragile treasures everywhere. I've tried to forget you the way the world forgets sunsets, slowly, gently, with the promise of tomorrow. But the truth is you live in me like a quiet fire, a warm light I turn to whenever I stumble into sorrow. You were my shelter when the rain hit too hard, my calm in the storms I never learned to face. You taught me that love isn't measured by time, but by the moments that stay, the ones that refuse to be replaced. And even though we couldn't stay together, if you ever sit alone at dusk, thinking of all we could have been. If your heart still pauses at the thought of my name, if somewhere inside you the story begins again. Maybe life pulled us apart for reasons we can't understand. Maybe love had to break just to teach us how to heal. But even in all the lessons of the quiet and the longing, you remain the one thing that still feels real. So I'll hold on to your memory, not as a wound, but as the light that showed me who I could be. Because love doesn't fade just because it ends. It lives on in the hearts it set free. And though the night is long and full of shadows, I walk through it with something bright. The way your memory still holds my hand, the way your love still lights my darkest night. There are nights when the quiet feels heavier than the truth, when every heartbeat echoes memories I try to forget. I walk through the rooms of my mind, searching for the light we once held, hoping to find a version of us that hasn't faded yet. Your laughter still lingers in corners where time stands still, a ghost I keep chasing even when I know it won't return. I tell myself stories to feel a little less alone, stories where you chose to stay, stories where we didn't burn. I still remember how your hands fit perfectly into mine, like they were shaped by the same storm that created my heart. You said I was your shelter when the world felt too loud, and I believed we would never drift apart. But love is a fragile thing disguised as something strong, and sometimes it breaks without making a sound. One small silence at a time we unraveled slowly, until we were two strangers on familiar ground. Now I lie awake wondering if you ever think of me too, if in some stolen second your breath catches at my name, if the tears you never let me see still fall quietly at night, when you remember a love we couldn't tame. I wish I could rewrite every moment we wasted, catch every goodbye before it slipped from your lips. I'd hold you tighter, speak softer, love deeper. I'd show you the forever hiding in my fingertips. But here I stand with only echoes and fading light, trying to understand how to let go of what I still feel. Your name still feels like home each time I whisper it, and maybe that's why the wounds refuse to heal.
Maybe someday our paths will cross again in the rain, and we'll smile at the pieces we found on the way. Maybe we'll remember that even broken hearts can shine, and that some loves simply never go away. Until then I'll keep you safe in the quiet part of me, where the dreams never die and the memories stay warm. Because no matter how far you've gone or how much time has passed, your name still feels like home. Your name still feels like home.
I still remember the way you held my hand in the dark, like you were afraid that the night might steal me away. You traced the promises on my skin that I never learned to forget, soft as a prayer, fragile as the first light of day. We built a world out of late night whispers and borrowed tomorrows, two lonely hearts trying to learn how to breathe as one. You told me love could outrun the distance between our fears, and for a while I truly believed we had already won. But somewhere along the way, colors began to fade. Your voice grew quieter, your smile became a stranger to me. We talked about everything and nothing at all, leaving our truest words locked behind what we were afraid to see. I watched you drift like a small boat lost in the fog, reaching for shores that didn't have my name. And I stayed there on the water's edge, calling you silently, trying to understand when love turned into blame. I'm all out of reasons, but never out of feelings. I let you go and still you stay buried in my chest. Every goodbye we never said keeps echoing in the halls, like footsteps that won't rest, like a heart that won't rest. If you hear my name carried by the wind some night, know it's just my soul trying to find its way back to yours. Because I still see you whenever the city lights turn soft, standing in the distance, like a future that never opened its doors. Maybe somewhere in another life we got it right. You chose to stay and I learned how not to hide. We would dance in the quiet and laugh at the storms, two less lonely people standing side by side. But in this life all I can do is love you from far away, hold your memory gently and place it where it cannot break. I'll carry us in the quiet spaces between my breaths, in the place where our hearts learned how to break. our hearts learned how to break. I used to think some stories ended too soon, that love could slip away before you ever said goodbye. But time has a way of showing what truly matters, and sometimes the heart circles back even after all the tears have run dry. I walked 1,000 lonely nights without you, each one whispering pieces of what we lost. Your name echoed in every quiet hour, a reminder that real love never forgets the cost. I tried to rebuild myself from the ashes, learning to breathe without the sound of your voice. But every moment felt unfinished, like a melody searching for a chord, a soul searching for its choice. Unmistakable pull, the quiet truth that led me back to you. You appeared like a sunrise after years of winter, your eyes carrying every mile you walked alone. No words were needed, silence told our story of two hearts wandering far, only to find their true home. We didn't rush to fill the spaces with explanations, we simply stood there learning each other again. You reached for my hand like it never belonged elsewhere, and my heart answered softly, as if remembering a forgotten refrain. Now we stand where our past and future meet, no longer afraid of what broke us before. We learn that love doesn't die, it waits, it grows, it heals, and then it walks back through the door. Tonight the stars feel closer than ever, shining on a love reborn from pain. Two less lonely souls reunited, stronger, softer, true again. And as I hold you beneath the quiet moon, I finally understand the truth I never saw. Ours was a love that could never stay gone, a love that found its way back home, a love that found its way back home. night was burning with a restless feeling, a fire I thought I left behind long ago. But then your memory hit me like a lightning strike, and suddenly the whole world felt like it used to glow. I walk the streets with the echo of your footsteps, chasing shadows that move like your silhouette. Every neon light reminded me of your heartbeat, and every breath felt like a promise we never met. I tried to outrun the ghosts we created, but some ghosts are made of more than pain. Some carry the warmth of what we lost, and some remind me I'd do it all again. The wind roared like a broken melody, cars passing by like pieces of a dream, and I felt you there between the noise, soft as a whisper, sharp as a scream. Baby, love is fire meant to burn forever, even when the night refuses to let go. Maybe we were two sparks caught in the storm, too bright to fade, too wild to grow slow. And though you're miles away from me now, I still feel your pulse in the city lights. Your memory burns through my midnight skies, turning lonely roads into endless fights. I keep walking, hoping the flames calm down, but love like ours never really dies. It lives on in every wild heartbeat, burning through the midnight skies, burning through the midnight skies.